Journo here from Twitch Gamer. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a rundown of everything I was kind of dealing with when playing Metro. As you can see here, this is when I was actually using the Radeon 6870 when trying to play the game, which is well under the recommended settings, which I still think is ridiculous to say the least. But as you can see, I'm doing about 6 and 11 frames per second on this. It was a 1 GB version of the card, which it does come in 2 if you chop around a little bit of it. But I did have to resize this video a little bit because this is when I was playing with different resolutions to try and actually get the game playable. And this is, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes into the game, something like that. It didn't seem like it was that far. And if you're going to have that many problems playing this far into it this soon, it's not exactly going to be great down the road, especially as you get further in. You can see there's a lot of other problems going on. There's just all kinds of stuff going on, especially with shaders, explosions, physics. If you're using it, of course, the Radeon wouldn't use it in this. But trying to be stealth through a mission like this is going to be next to impossible because you're chop, 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 chop. I tried several other times to try and get through it and it just wasn't working out. So, I mean, it eventually became a game of let's wait and see if I die, pretty much, or how long can I stick this out before I get truly annoyed with it. Admittedly, the first day that I got to this point, I actually stepped away from it because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It was just too damn annoying. It irked me a little too much that I couldn't use a card that was, you know, a year and a half, maybe a little bit older, to play a game like this has been in development for that long, especially when the engine is supposed to scale. And then if you're putting it on consoles, you have to consider that you're going to have to scale that back even more because an Xbox 360 doesn't nearly have the processing power that a PC would. Yeah, it's like, you can see there's no way in hell I would have had a good chance to aim unless I can just line things up perfectly center every time. This actually went on for a while until I just couldn't deal anymore and cleared the stage. But as you can see, not exactly something you want to be dealing with on a PC. It's pretty crippling to try and play through this. There's no way in hell I could have played this entire game with this frame rate. So going on to the next part, this train sequence is actually one of the more intense bits in the game. And if you hear that little chime in the background, that'd be the Windows Color throwing a little fit. And during this train sequence, it actually happened to be twice. And the second one should be about here. Kind of something annoying when you're really into the story of the game and trying to play and trying to complete your objective, and you're having your video card and Windows telling you your themes don't match. And then you run into things like this where there's just magically things floating in the air later on. But again, I think a lot of this actually had to do with the intensity of the actual scene. Here we're looking at something I just thought it was a little awkward. Look at the shadow that's coming from that string. It's a little big. And here I actually had to shoot one of the watchers through the wall, which was lovely. This sequence right here with the Rhino is probably one of the absolute worst bugs I ran into while playing the game. You see I'm running through the night vision. The game just kind of locked up because I was trying to figure out what was going on. So here I'm tabbed out, trying to mess with settings to see if there's something else going on, and probably killing some processes I don't remember at this point. But whenever I move, see how I'm jumping. And that's just tapping the key or moving the mouse. See how I'm clipping through walls and sliding through objects, and look, just flew all the way across the room. If it wasn't for this scripted sequence right here that actually pulls you into the water, I would have had to start that whole checkpoint all over again. And I think that was triggered just by a bunch of claymores. And here's a little flash of what's going on. I slowed it down a little bit so you can see. It's a little bit of clipping. But Metro isn't all bad. These weather effects were actually quite cool. It's a testament to the nice things you can actually do with a combination of physics in this engine. I liked how you could actually walk through this bridge scene, get the lull in the windstorm as you're passing through the pillars of the walls. I thought that was a nice touch, but really put you in it, made you feel that it was like an accurate Downey storm pour. Especially when you have the pizza flying by. And then, of course, the obligatory explosion that this engine handled. And a spinning helmet, because why the hell not?